Oh man, don't you hate it when you're riding your moped and one of your tubes pop? Oh my god, it's so annoying. How do you fix it? I'm gonna show you how to fix it. First, we gotta take the wheel off. So if your moped is an older one like mine, for example, this is a 1977 Pooch. Don't do that. Look at me. If your moped is an older moped like mine, for example, this is a Pooch Maxi. It's a 1977. The front wheel isn't that hard to take off. There's 2 bolts right here. You can go with those either with an open wrench or with a socket. And then you have the brake cable, which is over here. That's not that hard to get off, but it's really hard to get back on. And then you have the cable right here. Some mopeds, either the person you bought it from might have taken it off or just wasn't there. Mine, for example, has the speedometer on there, so I have the speedometer cable right down there. That's just something that I have to unscrew. But first, we're gonna take off these 2 nuts. Oh, yeah. All right, so that nut's off. And then we have the other one on this side here. We're just gonna take that one off. Now don't let it dangle too much. See, this is fine because the wheel's touching the ground, but if the wheel is dangling, we don't want that because then the cables, you're pulling on the cable. So we're just gonna detach the front brake cable right here. We can just lift that up. And get that out. And then we have our speedometer cable right here. This just unscrews. Take that out. And now the wheel is free. All right, so taking off the tire is the easy part. Putting the tube back on, well, that's the harder part. But I'm showing you guys how to do it, so we're going through this together. I've only done this once. We're learning together here. We're just gonna take that out, and we're gonna let some air out of these tubes because even though they are flat, they still have some air in them. To make it a lot easier to take them out, we're just gonna flatten them completely. Alright, so now I think the tubes are flat enough, so now we're basically we're just gonna rip it off the rim. We're just gonna rip it off the rim. We don't care about this old tube. It's coming off. Doesn't matter if it pops anymore, or if you find out it wasn't actually popped and it just wasn't full of air. It doesn't matter anymore. It's coming off. This part here, and now our rim is free. So here's our old tube.
Here it is.
Look at that. We don't want that. We don't want that anymore. What we want here is our brand new tube. So you want to do here is you want to take this top nut off here and this little nut and this washer off here. You don't want those inside the tube. That's how that one popped. Nice and close. So that's off. Now we're gonna take this piece off. Okay, so now to get this started, we want to fill the tube with air. So now you're gonna want to fill up the tube with just a little air, just to be able to fit it into the tire. Makes your life so much easier. Don't fill it up too much though, and be careful when you're using a compressor, because that's how I popped the original set. Oh, that's perfect. So now we're just gonna slip our tube right into our tire right here. So now that's in.
Why are you talking to me?
To make this a lot easier, what we're gonna do is we're gonna soak the outside of the rim of the tire with some 2-stroke oil. I mean, you could use any oil. 2-stroke is just what I have.
Can you use olive oil?
You can use olive oil. Just get a little on your glove. Yo, you better be wearing gloves. And just smear it on there. Let's give it a tap. Alright. Now that's nice and oiled up. Now we're gonna look for the hole on the rim right there. That's right there. We wanna make sure that lines up with the filler tube nozzle part right here. Get that right there. And then just kind of slowly work your way around the tire and pop it on. Start from the top and slowly work your way around. You move to using the oil is a lot easier than, like, say using a butter knife or a flat bladed screwdriver, because you might pop the rim. I mean, pop the tube. Pop the rim. You
can't pop metal.
Could you imagine? You could pop the tube, your brand new tube that you just put in, if you're doing that. If you're pretty dang good at it, then by all means, use a flippin' butter knife. But for right now, just oil it up.
Maybe if you're bored afterwards, just pop the old tube with a butter knife. That would be fun.
Don't get frustrated here. As you can see, it pops off a bit when you pop it on, because it doesn't want to go back on. It wants to be popped forever. All right, so we have everything popped right back on here. Going back at it with our compressor, just a little more air to get it to stay on. Not enough, you don't want to blow it up completely, because you want to know the right amount of air that's supposed to be in the rear and the front tire. The rear and the front tire are different, so you might want to look those up. I'm going to put them over the screen here. For this particular moped, and Pooch is similar to it, what they recommend putting in the front and the rear tire. So I'll put those on the screen now. But we're just going to stick our washer and our nut back on here. Alright, so that washer and that nut is back on there. So now this won't wobble about as much. Okay. And now, this is the fun part. Getting this here tire back onto the front forks. Yeah, sometimes if you might need another person to do this, but if you're lonely, just kind of lean your moped on something. But if your moped is a little like mine, your forks might become a little dislodged. So, oh my goodness. You need a little bit of pressure on them just to get it back in properly. Now, there's a groove here that keeps this piece from spinning when the wheel's spinning. You've got to line that up. In this case, it's on this side. So both sides have it, but on the rim, the part that locks onto that is on this side. So we want to hook this into there so this doesn't spin about when you're rolling along. So now slowly leaning it forward, gotta line it up, have the forks lined up and have this bit lined up. Slowly bringing it down, because you want to lock that in. Oh my god, we're in! Alright, make sure your wheel is nice and straight. We're gonna go back to our nuts here. We're just gonna secure it on right now. Where do they go? In this case, I'm just gonna tighten them all the way, just so I don't have to do that later. Alright, now our front wheel is nice, secured back on. This is the easier one. You have your, again, if you have it, your speedo cable just screws right back in. Alright, now that's back in, and now here's the fun part, getting the brake cable back on the front brake. In this case, it actually looks like it's going to be a lot easier. I don't know why. Last time I had to do this, I actually had to shove it up against a table, but that looks like it's back in. Yeah. Let that nut dangle. Don't tell nobody. Make sure the brakes are engaging. Oh, brakes are fine. All right. So now just fill it with the amount of air I told you to before, and you're all set. You just replaced your first moped tube. All right, so after that, you're all set. Just fill it with the amount of air that needs to be in the front tire. If you're doing the rear tire, fill it with the amount of air that needs to be in there. Again, earlier in the video, I showed you how much air needs to be in both the front and the rear. I'll display it again right now, just so you don't have to go back. So that's it. That's everything to it. You've just replaced your first moped tube. I hope this video was pretty good at explaining how to do it. If you have any questions about it, just comment below. If you like this video, hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Again at my house.
You should say I love you.
I love you.